And welcome back! So, as you can see, I've made some changes. I've added a bunch of these barricade-like sandbag setups. I added this whole structure, this whole structure, this whole thing, this whole thing. I believe I added, like, some junk down near the bottom. Might have added these as well. The point is, added some interior junk, added some defensive junk, blah, blah, blah. Crates, all that good stuff. The point is I've sort of made this area militarized and added some stuff that makes it look good, added some additional terrain. This is not, I think, an idealized map. I think that if I were to come back in with a cleaner idea, I think it maybe would be better. If I were to come back in with more time, I think it would be better. This is maybe one of the weaker maps that I've made from my current perception, but it has some upsides. I think it's very clean about what is going on in it. There's no area terrain. There's no scatter terrain, which is sort of the name for junk on the ground that doesn't have an in-game effect. There's no scatter terrain to confuse things. The footprints of what is and isn't area terrain, I think, are pretty clear. There's a lot of clarity there. Looking over it a final time, I think that I could stand to have a little more clarity for these industrial structures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these, and shrink them down. This is just the final check-in procedure. And try to line that up with the shadow of the object well enough, as a way to make it very clear this is all one structure. Being under it means you're in it, and there's no debate as to where the structure begins and ends. Debate is, in my opinion, the enemy of fun in these games like this. Either you have in the best case scenario, you have people who are good sports, and even then, it takes up time if people are being competitive or they really want to win. You have these internal urges, the desire to win, the desire to be fair, competing with each other. Even if everyone is going into this with good faith, no one's trying to be a jerk. You want to make it as clear as possible. Where's the terrain end? Where does it begin? What are the rules for how it's used? So you just do not have to fight it. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to save this map. I'm going to save it as test. Normally I will sort of save it in a particular place. You should find your own policy for how you save maps. The only thing I would say is I recommend you save a copy of every map that you create locally. Just so that if you make an error when you're updating a map or you upload the wrong copy of a map, you haven't just destroyed everything. You can always revert back to a copy. If you don't have room on your computer, then that's the way it is. But that's what I got. So yeah, so we have a map. I think this map is fine. I think this map is workable. It's fine. It's maybe a little sparse, would be the only complaint I'd have, but I think it has enough stuff on it that it's not the end of the world. And final sanity check. Yep. There's no problem for the recover the relics mission here. You can see that there's a little bit that these obstacles are a little bit on top of this objective marker. Is that a problem? Well, if you look at the obstacles, they're light cover, scalable, and exposed position. That means you could technically have a person on the cover, if they were sitting up top of here, but it would be exposed position, so they wouldn't get any benefit. Well, that's fantastic. All right. So we're now going to go to extract terrain. And the terrain will be extracted. Bam! We've extracted it. Fantastic. I'm going to overwrite our little test. Very good. And this is what I'd recommend that you have saved. Just a copy of this map. All right. Now we're going to go to. This is something I've newly recommended that people do, but if you do not have these items saved in your cloud, I would upload all loaded files, and I would give this map a name so it's easy to find out where it's from. I'm going to give this map the Fortified Ruins name. That's going to be what we're calling the map from this point on. We're calling this map Fortified Ruins. All right, so upload. This might take a little bit. Hey, reloading game to replace all files with the Steam Cloud version. All right. This will happen whenever you reload one of these maps loading in the voids. Do not press this erase button. Do not do that. You need this part for additive load to work. If you get rid of it and you additive load the map, you'll get nonsense problems when you'll get nonsense problems when you load it. Like there's going to be Z fighting with this mat and like the generic empty mat. There are ways to get rid of that, but it's just easier to not have the problem happen to begin with. Okay. So now we are going to do something that is an optional thing, but we're going to try to make a cool looking image of this map. We're going to try to come up with a cool looking image for this map so that we can put it on the Steam Workshop and it looks cool. Now, I'm just going to fiddle with stuff, and you're going to see why I fiddle with it. Lighting. We're going to reduce the ambient intensity, increase the light intensity. If we want to, we can go the other way. Just keep the ambient intensity low, but have the light intensity be very low. And we can even change the tint of the color. Make it a little red. Make it a little more red. That doesn't do a lot, but it now adds a sort of drama to this map that didn't exist before. So now we're gonna take a picture of it. I like to use the snipping tool for this, and I'm able to illustrate it. This is Snip and Sketch. Snipping tool will also work for this. And it's sort of frozen everything, but see, now I'm able to clip out this part that is my name. Remove the part that is my name. And now we can save this. We're going to save this to just pictures because it's easier to do it that way. All right, cool. And now I'm going to open up pictures. And we're going to open this with, we can just do this with Paint. Great. You can do this with another image editing program. I bet if you're artsy, there's a better version of it than this, but I think that there is a a certain elegant simplicity to just using paint. Now we want this to be the same amount of pixels. So it's going to be 562 by 562. I'm going to fill this in with black. And we're going to give it a title. Let's just make it red. And it's going to be Fortified. Oh, I have it saved. Oh, no, I don't. Fortified Ruins. We choose a font. Times New Roman is a bad font. Just something bold and brash. Not something that belongs in the trash. Impact is a little much here. This one. That'll do. Well, I screwed that one up because I pressed the wrong. Fortified Ruins. Fantastic. Select it. Change the font to, I don't know, 72. Wowzers, that's still way too small. Let's try 200. That's a little too much. Or is it? Fortified Ruins. It does seem to fit. We'll leave it as be. Leave it as be. We'll leave it as be. And then, great, we got it. We will use the select tool. This is just like this has now become a mediocre paint tutorial. Use your knowledge of basic image editing to create something that looks tolerable. Fortified Ruins. This looks tolerable. No one is probably going to judge you for this looking terrible. We will save it. Great. Save. We're done. There we go. Now our screenshot has become this. Now we probably want to take some other shots of this map. I like to give it an overhead. I'm going to use the snipping tool again, so you're going to be seeing nothing. Bam. There's one. And we'll just take 2 shots from each side. Bam. Nope. Sorry, I forgot to save the first one. So, take a shot from the top. Save it. I'll just save it here. Take a shot from over here. Clip. Save it. Save it as that. And finally, we'll take a close-in shot of the center ruin, maybe so we can see a little bit of the foreground. Bam. There we go. All right, we have 3 good shots, and maybe we take one way down low from this side. Blammo! Great. We now have screenshots. All right. F11 is the hotkey for getting rid of the UI. All right, we have this map saved. We have a fancy looking setup for the upload. We've uploaded to the Cloud Manager, and now we just need to go to Workshop Upload, upload a workshop, and we give it a workshop title. All right. Let's go to my library. And let's go to, I'm having this not in the tab that we're looking at to make sure that I don't show you anything that's too schmancy or fancy. No, this looks like it should be fine. Okay. So I've gone to my workshop items. How cool is this? So cool. And it's been a little while for me. All right, so what we'll go to is, let's go to, this is a Strikeforce map I've done before. So I will copy the formatting from this, and we'll use this as kind of a reference point for workshop title. Strikeforce map. Fortified Ruins. It's not fortified, fortified. Workshop thumbnail URL. Great. This is where I save all my other screenshots, by the way. This, I go to pictures, I grab this one. Workshop description. Okay, what do I describe it as? I think that this description is great. Must be additive loaded. This map is best used for casual narrative play, but should function fairly for most armies. Yeah, I think that that's correct. I'm going to add in some more descriptions to clarify that this was a map I made for a YouTube tutorial. If you want to see my process, check it out here. Placeholder. Nailed it. I've put a placeholder because that's, which is to say the text placeholder. We go to options, number of players. It's a 2-player game. Playing time. I generally go 120. I do not know how much this really matters. Name, Fortified Ruins. Type, map. Complexity, low. I mark this the following way. You're just seeing my entire process. Assets, props, language English, custom, and then I just add in some keywords. Let's look at the keywords I added here. FTC, Warhammer, Chaos, Hive City, Additive Load, Strikeforce, 40k, 44 by 60. So FTC, Warhammer, I think I added 40k, Strikeforce, 44 by 60. Additive load. I'm not going to put tutorial on there, even though this was a tutorial map, because, I mean, I will link the tutorial on YouTube. So yes, I will put down tutorial. I just don't want to deceive anyone. Tutorial, and that's it. We can just X out of it, saves it all down here. Fortified Ruins map, low complexity, playing time 120 to 180, number of players 2, with a bunch of tags. We have this description, we have this screenshot for our thumbnail. We've got our tags. Now we click upload, beginning upload to workshop. Great. You do not need to save this. You can if you want to. I did it for like the first 25 maps I created, then realized I could just go to my workshop page, find this in the URL. So let's actually go look at the map. There's Fortified Ruins right here. Yeah. So several things. Current visibility is hidden. This item will be only visible to you, admins, and anyone marked as a creator. We can edit the title and description from here. The only thing we can't edit is the thumbnail, I think, for some reason. We can edit the title and description. Add, edit images and videos. Attach YouTube video is where I'm going to be attaching my video. I'm also going to hard link it. Here's where we change the visibility. Great. We want to, I will add it to one of my collections as part of this. But first, I think I'm going to add images. So here we're going to choose files. So here is where we're going to add in our screenshots. We will start with this one, upload, and we'll just go through the process to upload all 4 of these screenshots. And then once we've uploaded all the screenshots, we go to save and continue. Great. And if we want to change around the order of the images, I believe this is what we do. Now, this is the most charismatic image, so I'll put that first, and I'll put it in this order. Save and continue. Great. So now we got our nice little Morgian guard guy staring us right in the face. And then you can go bam, and now you can see the whole map from the top. Bam, bam. Fantastic. Is there anything else to do? Yes, I would like to add this to collections. Look at all these collections I've made. I would say that this is I'm going to add this to Boa's 40K map collection because it is one of my 40K maps. I believe all of my 40K maps are uploaded to there. And I'm going to add it to my Strike Force FTC map pack because this is a Strike Force map that I made, and all of my Strike Force maps are there. So, and you just click OK. If you do not have a collection, you can create one. There are generic tutorials for how to create collections for 40K. It's not terribly difficult. And then we can just change our visibility and go to public. Fantastic. It is awaiting analysis by the automated system, and when it is done being analyzed, it will be approved. All right. That is everything you need to know to upload a map to the Steam Workshop. Once you have it uploaded, you can, this is the URL for it. So the number that they have is up here as well. If you ever need to share it, you use this URL up here. Great. I think that's everything you need to know. I've taken you through the process of taking images, of uploading it to the cloud, uploading it to the workshop, and polishing off a map like this. This certainly isn't my most impressive map, but I think it's quite serviceable. And if I had a chance to play on it, I think I'd be pretty happy with it. If you are coming to me to look for a tutorial on how to make some of my maps, and you happen to be interested in some of the other stuff I've made, I do Let's Plays of I just like utterly amateur quality that I think are perfectly fine. If you are here, one of the people who normally watches his Let's Plays, obviously I make these maps, and you should check them out. I think that I'm much happier with the work I've done with some of these maps than I have fun with Let's Plays. I think that my maps are actually pretty good. That's all. I will see you guys maybe for a more in-depth tutorial if there are specific necessary questions that need to be answered. But until then, have fun making your own map. I don't think it's that hard to do, and I absolutely, positively recommend that you give it a try. Bye-bye.